Walks and two of the most impressive fighters from the opening round of the tournament in Paul Ryan and Derek Pomerleau. And guys, I think Paul Ryan put it best in an interview earlier this week. He said for the purists of the sport, they're going to sit back and appreciate a high-level boxing match in this one.
This is the fight I've been waiting for all night. These two southpaws, both very, very skillful. It's going to be a high-level chess match.
It will be, but I got a feeling it's going to kick off a little bit as well. Because it's going to be so nip and tuck potentially that they're both, you know, they'll get to a point where they'll go, there'll be a panic. Oh, we've got to do something here. This is too tight.
Ryan opened up his tournament with a decision win over Anas El Abid, scoring 3 knockdowns in the process. Pomerleau appointed Liparit Ustian, the 2-time Ukrainian national silver medalist. Nice left hand, and that one wobbles Pomerleau and will be scored a knockdown.
I think he kind of caught himself. His knees buckled, but he caught himself and just ran into the ropes, but he wasn't going to go down. But that's okay.
Good shot.
What a start for Paul Ryan. Again, in a 6-round fight, that is a lot of ground to make up, even in the early going.
But it's getting the balance of trying to make it up without panicking and making silly mistakes and rushing your work and walking on potentially to another bigger shot. Because that wasn't a heavy shot, but that was just good technique there from Ryan. He punches correct, he turns the shoulders into every shot.
Yep. Having good balance and having speed. If your opponent doesn't see that shot coming and they're not properly balanced, they're going to get dropped. And Ryan doesn't have the most power, but it's kind of like what Hitchens did to Kambosos the other night. Eventually, those shots have a toll on you, you know?
Sneaky left hand there from Ryan again.
But Pomerleau is very crafty, so I like to see the adjustments he made.
Pomerleau, plenty of power himself. Of course, we remember his eye-catching knockout victory over Marcelo Coceres not that long ago.
Oh, that was incredible.
Followed that up with another knockout win over Nathan McIntosh here on DAZN. Ryan, a little bit of a dark horse heading into this tournament, despite his amateur exploits, which included a bronze medal at the World Games. But of course, he's bouncing back still from his first loss a couple of fights ago, a shocking first-round TKO loss at the hands of Fabricio Rubino, who was just 3-3 at the time.
Pomerleau has to do some more feints because I noticed that Paul Ryan is going for every feint, you know, but he's so fast, you gotta feint your way in there.
It's round 2 underway. Derek Pomerleau didn't taste the canvas, but he did suffer a knockdown. And Brock, I guess your feeling is that if that shot had landed, let's say, a foot further inside the ring, and Pomerleau had a little bit more distance to work with, you think he would have gathered himself and would not have gone down?
Yes, I think the slow motion just showed me that he was actually about to stand back up, but his butt hit the turnbuckle, and the referee called it, and I'm not mad at the call at all. It's just we get to see the replay.
Well, that's an excellent start for Paul Ryan here in this one. Says that winning this tournament would give him the opportunity to change his life, but also to go all in on boxing. Right now, he works from 5 a.m. until 3:30 and then is able to train then afterwards. Just something that Pomerleau did for a good chunk of his career as well, supplementing his amateur stipend with his salary at the Labatt Beer Plant in Montreal.
The what?
The Labatt Beer Plant.
Oh, beer. I said ear for a second. Ear plant? It's crazy. Oh, good shot there from Pomerleau. Nice from Pomerleau. He just went low there and threw up with that jab. And first bit of success he's had for a while, actually.
It's an interesting look here for Pomerleau as well, Barry, because we're used to him kind of being able to cruise on the back foot and walk people into shots. Tonight, it looks like Ryan is insisting upon fighting off the back foot, and Pomerleau is going to have to be slippery while moving forward.
And Ryan's doing what Barack was saying Pomerleau should do. He's feinting before he's throwing.
Pomerleau's doing it right now, but there you go. You got to throw something after the feint.
See the personality of Paul Ryan there.
Yeah, imitating Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah.
Well, Billy Joe Saunders was imitating Floyd Mayweather.
Actually, he did that against a Canadian, David Lemieux. I was there.
Yes,
he did. He did.
Montreal.
Yes. He beat him up.
This is Ryan's sort of fight, though. This is right now. The pace that he'll want, the tempo he'll want, even the rhythm suits him.
Oh, jab snuck in there. Barely touched him.
And in a round like this, jabs that are barely touching your opponent might be the ones that win the round.
Right, that right hook got in there. And then, see, I told you it's the feints. I'm sure his corner said, no, you need to feint this guy. He's too fast, he's too twitchy.
That'll do it for a quiet round 2, which is much better news for Derek Pomerleau.
And maybe that left hook one, maybe Ryan just throwing those feints. Have him reset.
20-17 nonetheless across the board here for Paul Ryan. So
that's the first time that actually all judges scored it the same way after the first 2 rounds.
That's right.
First time.
And that means, I guess, Barack, that, you know, in the eyes of the judges, Pomerleau did better in that round, but better doesn't necessarily mean that you won the round.
That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes, you know, as we're scoring fights and as we're calling fights, you can sometimes fall into that trap if you're grading on the curve that the fighter who lost the previous round has set for themselves.
I'm
right?
definitely guilty of that. Now, I understand there's a difference between calling and actually looking at the fight so you can score it.
But also, that's the Mayweather syndrome, when the fighters would get credit for just doing better.
Yes, right.
Because they almost landed with the shot.
Or they land one good shot.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay. Well, you finally land something. Partially blocked there by Pomerleau.
Again, as I go back to that point, this is just the pace that Ryan would want. Gives him time to maneuver, think about it, because he'll feint and not throw. He don't care.
Yeah.
No, he wants you to make it just you overreach, and I'll go bang bang down the line, and I'll go back on my bike again.
Good shot to the body there from Pomerleau. He's starting to creep forward with a little more intent now. Again, hearing those scores, 20-17, that has to sound alarm bells in the Pomerleau corner. And this speaks to the depth of talent in this tournament as well, because you think about the narrative around Pomerleau before this tournament existed. The win over Marcelo Coceres, he's calling out Patrice Volney. Oh my goodness, what a left hand!
There it is.
And Paul Ryan,
It's over.
they have waved it off. Derek Pomerleau pulls it out of the fire in an instant.
Unbelievable.
He's still